Welcome to GST Zen Quick Learning Webinar Series. And today I am going to discuss on GST applicability on remuneration paid to directors. This has become a very hot topic after a couple of advance rulings have come. So we are going to today understand on legal provisions of the reverse charge applicability for this transaction. What does the advance rulings position was, and what did the circular which has been issued recently. Let's look at the legal provisions. There are two things which we need to understand when I say legal provisions. First, the application of 9 subsection 3, wherein the government said, on the recommendation of the council by a notification, a category of supply of goods or services, tax on which shall be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient of such goods or services, and the provisions of this act shall apply to the recipient as if he is a person liable to pay the tax. Now we have Central Tax Rate Notification 13/2017, which stated that services supplied by a director of a company or a body corporate to the said company. So if I am a director and I am providing the services to the company, so the supplier of service is the director and the recipient of the service is the body corporate. In such a situation, the recipient of service, which is the body corporate, has to pay the taxes on reverse charge. Now, the question that came up is the remuneration which is paid to the director, is it applicable as a reverse charge by the company? So the advance rulings which we have got in this context, first is the advance ruling of Claycraft India Private Limited, which is a Rajasthan advance ruling issued on 20th February 2020, where the query was asked whether the GST is payable under reverse charge mechanism on the salary paid to the director, right? And the question also further asked, would it change if the director is a part-time director? In this situation, the advance ruling authority said the consideration paid to the director by the company will attract GST under reverse charge mechanism. They said all the director, whether executive, non-executive directors. So which means if a director who is a whole-time director, it is applicable. So a non-executive director, it would definitely be applicable. That was the advance ruling given by Rajasthan Advance Ruling Authority in case of a Claycraft India Private Limited. Now there is another advance ruling which we got in case of Anil Kumar Agrawal. It is a Karnataka advance ruling dated 4th May 2020. Even here the querist asked, and Anil Kumar Agrawal was receiving various incomes, and this question was asked in the context of aggregate turnover. Here, should the salary as a director of a company be included in the part of the aggregate turnover for registration? The advance ruling authority said the salary as a part of employment contract as employer-employee relationship is covered under Schedule 3 of CGST Act. Hence, there is no supply, so not liable to tax. Hence, it is not forming part of aggregate turnover. So, the remuneration as a part of non-employment agreement would be covered under notification. This is the clarification given by Advance Ruling Authority of Karnataka. So the same matter, there were two contradictory judgments which came up by different advance ruling authority. So in light of the above, we have received a circular number 140/10/2020, wherein the government the CBIC has clarified, saying the director services can be classified in the following ways. One, a non-employee director services. The other, an employee director services. Non-employee director services, the service is provided as a director, and it is discussed in the circular saying it could be anything, and 5.4 of the circular said it would be attracting the GST and reverse charge is payable by the company. But if the services are provided in the nature of an employee director services, the TDS is deducted by the company under section 192. Under income tax, it is deducted under 192. So it is an employer-employee relationship. even though the service is provided by the employee director to the company, even if the company has to pay under reverse charge, I need to look into the classification for which it is applicable. The classification is a Schedule 3 transaction which is neither regarded as a supply of goods or services, hence there is no question of liability. Now the question that came up is, what about other services? So an activity which is not in the nature of an employee-employer relationship, where the TDS is deducted under section 194J of the income tax, the circular said the reverse charge would be applicable. Now there were some more questions that have come up from the various users that, okay, what about if an independent services were provided? A director is giving this property on lease to the company, a rental services are provided. A director, let's take a hospital, and one of the director is a doctor, and being in the nature of the capacity as a doctor, he performs some operations and he gets the contractual fees like which is paid to any other director. Would that be under RCM? So I have summarized the transactions into the following category. If you look at it, a director who is in the capacity as a whole-time director or an executive director, we call it as, he is an employee. And the another category, an independent non-executive director who is not an employee. Now a remuneration which is paid to such director, let's say the first one, salary. A salary paid to a whole-time director or an executive director, it is in the nature of the employee transactions, hence it is a Schedule 3 transaction, no GST, no reverse charge. The question of remuneration wouldn't be applicable to a non-independent director who's or non-executive director, hence any amounts paid to such director, reverse charge is applicable. Now a remuneration which is paid in the capacity as a director, even to an employee director, an executive director, he might get paid sitting fees, the board sitting fees, or any other emoluments beyond the employment contract. If something is paid to a director beyond the employment contract, then such amounts paid to the director are leviable to tax, and reverse charge is applicable by the company. So company has to pay under reverse charge both in the case of an employee director or a non-employee director. And very important is the last category, an independent supply as a consultant or a service provider or as a landlord. So there is an independent agreement which is made, and there is a principal to principal transactions being undertaken. In such a scenario, whether the payment is made to an executive director or a non-executive director, the reverse charge applicability would not come, and it would be a forward charge transaction. The liability would be on the director to remit the GST on this. Friends, this is the sum and substance of the GST applicability on a reverse charge transaction, and I'm sure you liked the video and you had a clarity on this subject. In case if you need further clarification, you can always write to me on this email ID, and I thank GST Zen for giving an opportunity to come in front of you and